Space is vast, infinite, a silent void where humanity's whispers are swallowed whole. For centuries, we've gazed into the abyss, searching for answers, for connection, for proof that we are not alone. But what if the answer we seek is not one we're prepared to hear? What if the silence hides something far worse than solitude? This is the story of the crew of the Erebus, a deep space research vessel sent to investigate a mysterious signal from the edge of the galaxy, a signal that should never have existed, a signal that would lead them to the brink of madness and beyond. The Erebus was a marvel of human engineering, designed to withstand the harshest conditions of deep space. Its crew, scientists, engineers, explorers, were the best of the best. But even the best can falter when faced with the unknown. Dr. Elena Vasquez, the ship's lead scientist, called out from the control room. "Captain, you need to see this. The signal, it's changing." The signal had been faint at first, a series of pulses barely distinguishable from background noise. But now it was growing stronger, more complex, almost deliberate. "What are we looking at, Elena?" Dr. Vasquez hesitated, her eyes fixed on the monitor as she spoke. "It's a pattern, a sequence of numbers and symbols. It's not random." The crew stared at the monitor, their faces illuminated by the eerie glow of the signal. It was unlike anything they had ever seen, and yet it felt familiar, as if it were calling to them. They should have turned back. The signal led them to a region of space known as the Silent Void, a place where stars seemed to dim and time itself felt distorted. No ship had ever ventured this far. No ship had ever returned. Engineer Malik, the ship's systems specialist, shouted from the engine room.
"Captain, we're losing power in the main thrusters."
Captain Harris responded quickly, his voice sharp and commanding.
"Elena, what's happening? Is this the signal's doing?"
Dr. Vasquez shook her head, her voice trembling with uncertainty.
I don't know. It's like the ship is being pulled toward something."
As the Erebus drifted deeper into the void, the signal grew louder, more insistent, and with it came a sense of dread, a feeling that they were being watched. They were not alone. It appeared out of nowhere, a massive structure, black as the void itself, with no discernible origin or purpose. It defied logic, defied physics. It was alive. Dr. Vasquez whispered, her voice trembling with disbelief. This isn't possible. It's older than the galaxy itself." Captain Harris spoke firmly, his voice steady despite the fear in his eyes. "Malik, prepare the landing module. We're going in." They should have turned back. They should have left the structure to rot in the darkness. But curiosity is a powerful thing, and so they descended into the abyss. Some doors should never be opened. The interior was a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, each more alien than the last. Strange symbols adorned the walls, glowing faintly in the darkness. And then they found it, the source of the signal. Dr. Vasquez gasped, her voice filled with awe and horror.
It's a machine, but it's organic. It's alive."
Malik's voice was sharp and nervous as he spoke. "Captain, I don't like this. We should leave." But it was too late. The machine had already awakened, and with it came the entity. It was awake. Chaos erupted. The growl was not just sound, it was a physical force, rattling the very bones of the Erebus, vibrating through their bodies. It was the sound of something ancient, something that had been dormant for eons, now stirring from its slumber. In the immediate aftermath, Captain Harris fought to impose order on the terrifying new reality. Damage report. Malik, what's our status? Primary systems failing, Captain. Power fluctuations off the charts. It's like something's draining us, or twisting the conduits from the inside. Dr. Vasquez, despite her terror, immediately turned her scientific mind to the unknown threat. Captain, the energy readings are impossible. The organic machine isn't just active, it's radiating something. A non-physical signal, but it's interfering with everything. The ship, our neural pathways, I can feel it. It wasn't long before the entity's presence began to manifest in more insidious ways. Not physical attacks, not yet, but a creeping, psychological dread that seeped into their minds. Did you hear that? Just now? Someone called my name. Just the ship groaning, Jenkins, or your imagination. We're all on edge. But it wasn't imagination. The whispers grew, individual to each crew member, preying on their deepest fears and regrets. They were isolated, even within the confines of their own minds. The first casualty was not a direct attack, but an accident. Ensign Davis, usually meticulous, tripped on a perfectly clear deck and struck his head against a bulkhead. "Ensign Davis down! Medic!" Dr. Jian Li, the ship's medical officer, rushed to his aid. His face a mask of professional concern, but his mind reeling from the unexplainable nature of the incident. No clear cause of injury. Captain, his vitals, they're spiking. He's seizing. It's like his brain is overloading. Dr. Li would soon discover that conventional medicine was useless against an enemy that attacked the very fabric of the mind. Paranoia began to fester. Distrust, like a slow-acting poison, spread through the crew. Whispers became accusations. Every shadow seemed to harbor a threat. "Who is in Section Gamma? The airlock logs show a breach, but no one reported it." "That's impossible. I locked down Gamma myself an hour ago. The sensors must be faulty. This whole damn ship is falling apart." Security Chief Anya Sharma, usually the picture of stoic discipline, found her training useless against the unseen. Her security logs showed glitches, impossible movements, phantom readings. She could secure physical perimeters, but how do you secure a mind? There are no physical intruders, but something is here, and it's playing with us. Dr. Vasquez, driven by a desperate need for answers, worked relentlessly at her console. The alien symbols on the structure's walls, once merely decorative, now pulsed with a subtle internal light, and then a horrific truth began to dawn on her. My God, the signal. It's not just interfering, it's learning. It's analyzing our responses, our fear. It's feeding. The organic machine was not just a relic. It was an intelligence that was now irrevocably awake. And it was hungry.
The Erebus was a dying beast, its systems failing.
its life support flickering. Trapped by the entity's unseen hold, Captain Harris knew they had only one desperate option: venture deeper into the alien labyrinth, to find its heart, its weakness, or perhaps their tomb. Malik, can you route emergency power to the forward observation deck? Vasquez, Sharma, Li, prepare to accompany me. We need to find a way to sever this connection, or we'll all go mad. I'll try, Captain. But the power grids, they're tearing apart. It feels like the whole structure is fighting us. The structure wasn't merely a building. It was a living, shifting maze. Corridors reconfigured themselves. Paths disappeared behind them, and the glowing symbols on the walls pulsed with a malevolent internal energy that seemed to mock their every step. You shouldn't have come. You brought it here. Who said that? Show yourself. Anya, don't. It's not physical. It's in our minds. The entity's manifestations intensified. Hallucinations became shared, terrifyingly real. Crew members saw loved ones long dead, past traumas replayed before their eyes, or grotesque, impossible distortions of their fellow crewmates. The whispers became distinct voices, mimicking their own, or those of their crewmates, twisting their words into accusations, doubts, and despair. No, the calculations are wrong. It's a trap. They want me to reroute the life support, to them, to feed them. Malik, focus. What are you seeing? The numbers. They're telling me to open the vents. All of them. Just a little. They promise it will be quiet then. Engineer Malik, a man who lived by logic and order, was succumbing to the entity's targeted assault. His technical skills, his very sanity were being weaponized against them. He began to see impossible readouts, hear commands that only he could perceive, urging him toward sabotage. Captain, he's compromised. We need to secure him. Anya Sharma, the unflappable security chief, found her combat training useless. She could protect against physical threats, but how do you fight a terror that manifests from your own mind? She saw her dead brother, accusing her of failing him. She felt phantom hands on her, pulling her into the darkness, exploiting her deepest, hidden fears. Stay back! Get away from me! Anya, there's nothing there. It's not real. The crew fragmented. The small team, once united, now walked a thin line between cooperation and self-preservation. Arguments erupted, fueled by the entity's insidious whispers. Every step deeper into the labyrinth was a descent into shared madness. You are food. Fear is sustenance. We learn from your pain. It's not just a signal. It's a consciousness. Ancient, predatory. It's been waiting. Deep within the structure, in a chamber pulsating with an unholy light, Dr. Vasquez finally made a horrifying breakthrough. What she found wasn't just data. It was a chronicle, a history etched into the very fabric of the organic machine, a history that spoke of an alien cosmic horror older than the stars themselves. This isn't a machine. It's a living prison, a trap, a harvester. The entity was not an alien creature as they understood it, but an ancient cosmic consciousness, a remnant of a civilization that had transcended physical form, or perhaps something far more primal, a fundamental force that predated the very concept of life.
It existed beyond conventional space-time, anchored to this structure, and its purpose was singular, terrifyingly simple. It feeds on us, on our consciousness, on our fear, our despair, our very sanity. The signal, it wasn't a call for help. It was a lure to draw in new sustenance. And the symbols, they're not just a language, they're controls or warnings that were never meant for us. The truth was a crushing weight. They couldn't fight it with weapons. They couldn't outrun it. Their only hope was to escape, but escaping might mean leaving the entity free to find other civilizations, other worlds, or a more chilling prospect, sacrificing themselves to ensure its containment, a choice between the annihilation of their species or the utter destruction of their souls. If we leave it here, what then? It will find others. The weight of that decision hung heavy in the air, a silent judgment from the silent void itself.
The entity's influence became an overwhelming tide, crashing against the last bastions of their sanity. The Erebus was on the verge of collapse, its life support flickering, its hull groaning under the unseen pressure. The remaining crew, Captain Harris, Dr. Elena Vasquez, Security Chief Anya Sharma, and Dr. Jian Li, were isolated islands of despair, exhausted and profoundly terrified. Malik, he's gone. His mind, it broke. He tried to vent the atmosphere from the bridge. I had no choice but to seal him off. Engineer Malik, the pragmatic engineer, had succumbed to the entity's psychological torture. His demise was a chilling testament to the unseen enemy they faced. Captain Harris, his face etched with grim resolve, made the most difficult decision of his command. There's only one way out. We can overload the Erebus's core, cause a cascade failure. If we can trigger it at the heart of their structure, it might sever the connection. Contain it, at least for a while. Captain, that would mean complete destruction of the ship and us. It's a suicide run, Elena, but it's our only chance to stop it from reaching Earth. We can't let this thing out into the galaxy. As the plan solidified, each survivor faced their own final, desperate act. Malik's sacrifice, though tragic, had bought them time. Now, others would follow, not in vain, but in a desperate bid for humanity's survival. I'll provide cover. I'll buy you enough time to activate the sequence. Just make sure it works, Vasquez. Security Chief Anya Sharma, despite the psychic torment that gnawed at her, found a primal wellspring of resolve. She would face the physical manifestations that flickered at the edges of their vision, providing a desperate shield for the scientists. She became a whirlwind of focused fury, her every shot a defiance against the encroaching madness, even as her mind was assaulted by grotesque visions of her past failures. Come on, you cosmic bastards. You want fear? You'll get rage. Dr. Jian Li, the compassionate medic, found himself facing choices no healer should ever have to make. He had just witnessed the final, tormented moments of another crew member, Ensign Miller, driven to Patagonia by the entity's whispers. His ethical compass spun wildly in the void of despair. Captain, Ensign Miller is unresponsive. His brain activity, it's just a flat line of terror. There's nothing I can do. I can only ease his passing. The medic was forced to make the agonizing decision to administer a sedative, granting a peaceful oblivion to a mind shattered beyond repair, his hands shaking as he carried out the grim duty. They reached the core chamber, a colossal cavern of shifting, organic metallic tissue, pulsating with the entity's malevolent energy. It was a nightmare rendered tangible, defying all laws of known physics, and at its heart, the entity's core manifestation awaited. It wasn't a monster of flesh and blood, but a swirling vortex of pure consciousness, a tempest of despair and ancient malevolence. It manifested as a terrifying psychic projection, 1,000 grasping tentacles of thought, each one burrowing into their minds, bringing forth their deepest fears, amplifying their pain into a symphony of terror. Get back. Elena, activated now. It's overloading. The energy readings are spiking. I'm trying to cross-feed the Erebus's core into its resonant frequency. Dr. Elena Vasquez, her mind under assault, her body racked with pain, performed a final desperate act of scientific defiance. She had rigged a connection, attempting to overload the structure's energy, to disrupt the entity's very essence with a surge of raw, untamed power. This was her last terrible gift to humanity, a chance, however slim, to silence the void. Captain Harris, his eyes fixed on the pulsing horror before them, carried out his final command. Even as the Erebus tore itself apart, even as the entity assaulted his mind with visions of a galaxy consumed, his resolve held. He activated the final sequence, a last act of a captain going down with his ship, but not without a fight. For humanity. For silence. When the blinding flash subsided and the deafening roar of destruction faded, only a profound, echoing silence remained. From the wreckage of the Erebus and the shattered remains of the alien structure, a single, crippled escape pod limped away from the silent void. Only 3 remained. Captain Harris, his face a roadmap of trauma. Dr. Elena Vasquez, pale and distant, her eyes holding the knowledge of unspeakable horrors. And Dr. Jian Li, whose healer's hands now trembled with a silent internal quake. We made it. We actually made it. Did we, Doctor? Did we really? They were physically injured, but their minds bore the deepest scars. The entity's presence, though seemingly banished, lingered within them like a psychic infection. Hallucinations persisted, not as vivid as before, but as fleeting shadows, whispers at the edge of hearing, fragments of impossible visions. The signal is gone. The void is silent again. But the silence, it's different now. It's empty where something once was. Or perhaps it's just waiting. The profound isolation of the journey back to civilization was a torment in itself. Each hour stretched into an eternity, filled with the echoes of screams that only they could hear. Paranoia remained a constant companion, a ghost in the machine of their minds. Who could they trust? What if the entity had hitched a ride within their very thoughts? What do we tell them? How do you explain what we saw, what we felt? If they returned, they would face skepticism, disbelief. How could anyone comprehend a horror that preyed on the mind, an entity that consumed despair? Authorities would seek to suppress the truth, to rationalize it, to bury it beneath layers of protocols and classified reports. They would call it space madness, a collective delusion brought on by the isolation of deep space. We have to warn them. We have to. And who would believe us, Jian? They'll see the void in our eyes and they'll call us insane. Or worse, they'll try to study us, to understand, how we survived. The survivors, Captain Harris, Dr. Vasquez, and Dr. Jian Li, were irreversibly changed. They carried the void within them, a silent testament to the unimaginable horror they had faced. Their humanity was not gone, but it was irrevocably altered, stained by the brush with a cosmic force that dwarfed their understanding. They did not know if they truly destroyed it, or merely delayed its awakening. Was the silent void truly silenced, or was it merely waiting for the next ship, the next unwitting explorers, to stumble upon its ancient, hungry trap?